Welcome back to the channel. What is going on with the goings-on with the YSL trial? Well, DA Love made her witness become hostile. She definitely shows a demonstration of how not to treat your witness on the witness stand. So let's get straight into it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. And thank you for tuning in.
I think so.
Were there deputies?
I think so.
Were there DA investigators?
I think, yes.
Obviously, you said your lawyer was here?
Yes.
All right. Was your friend Shannon here?
If you try to get to the point.
Mr. Sledge, I'm not trying to get to anything, and I really do need you to just answer the question. So if you could please, Your Honor, if the court would instruct the witness to answer the question.
Listen to the question and answer the question
And then
and
you
ask,
can-
and then you may explain it.
I would ask.
And Your Honor, since his answer was not responsive,
His answer was not responsive.
I'd ask that you
Re-ask the question.
Was your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you in 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here
Objection.
in court with you on December? He objected.
I said, why you
Hold on,
running?
hang on.
Relevance to whether I was in attendance at the time he took his plea.
Your Honor,
Overruled.
was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28, 2022? You can answer first, and I will let you explain, but I need you to answer
No.
yes or no.
But could you stop yelling at me like I'm your child or something like your child?
You are not.
You talking aggressive to me. You don't intimidate me. All them guys over here. So if you would have came to me and asked me that, I'd have told you the same thing. What if they was in my face or not in my face? I'm not scared of them, are you?
I don't want you to be.
Well, that's what you acting like it. That's what you acting like you're trying to
So
punch.
do you want me to bring my voice down? And I apologize.
Don't holler at
if
me,
it
I
sounds
ain't
like
no child. Can I take a break? Y'all come.
Now, we've had so many breaks this
Yeah,
morning. We
'cause
really
I'm-
need to get
I'm-
through this.
All right. So, Mr. Sledge, was either Quay that is in the courtroom here today in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was Lil Rod in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
Get to your point. No.
That is my point.
Your point is
Okay.
pointless.
Was the lawyer for Mr. Huey Quay in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Cornelius Nichols in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Little Rod in court with you on December 28, 2022?
I don't know if that's been asked and answered or not.
It was not.
Okay, well, go ahead if you say it was.
Was the lawyer for
No.
Little Rod
No.
on cross-examination? Defendant Stillwell's attorney, Mr. Sharp, asked you about Shell Kell and Antrevia. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
All right. When did you lose recollection of what happened 3 days ago?
I don't recall.
Are all of your answers to every question I ask from now on going to be, I don't recall?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't recall.
And what caused you to lose your memory?
You put so much pressure on my brain, I don't forgot everything. I can't remember all this stuff that been asked to me for the last 4 days. It's like, it's confusing. So I'm not, like you said, I completed the 9th grade. I'm not that intelligence to be remembering all this stuff that you keep asking me. My brain just everywhere. I might need to go see somebody after this court time.
Mr. Sledge, did you have any problem at all understanding the questions asked to you about Brian's skill?
Oh, God.
Right. Did you lose your memory at any point with Mr. Steele?
He wasn't pressuring me like you. He was helping me. He was explaining to me. He was breaking down. But it seemed like...
What you're saying, I'm gonna respond to that.
Objection. The witness should be allowed to answer the question.
Were you finished with your answer?
No, she couldn't. No.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
I said, Mr. Steele was explaining to me he wasn't pressuring me, but every time it seems like I'm getting up there with you, I'm giving you my truth, and you still trying to pressure me to say something you want me to say when I'm giving you the truth that I know.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand that there's a difference between the way that a prosecutor can ask you questions and the way that a defense attorney can ask you questions?
No.
Do you understand that I cannot lead you when I'm asking you questions?
Sustained.
Okay. When you say that there's a difference between the way that Mr. Steele asks you questions and the way that I ask you questions, would you help me understand what that difference is so that I can ask you questions in a way that does not frustrate?
Oh, well, he kind of has told you.
She didn't say what she said. You overruled.
Ask your next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, will you help me a little bit so that I'm not frustrating you, okay?
You already have.
I understand.
I don't even.
Can we rewind?
No.
All right. When you were asked about Antrevia, was Shell the person you said who had also started a relationship with Antrevia after you?
I don't recall.
What is confrontational about that question?
I just don't recall.
Why don't you recall?
Because you pressured me, I don't recall. You hurt my brain.
All right, so let's take an early lunch and you can calm down in the meantime, hopefully, and then we will come back.
When your witness call you out on all your lies, let's get it.
Call between a rock and a hard place with Mr. Sharp as far as coming in here and testifying to something different than what you put in the factual acknowledgments.
I came, from my understanding, I would be able to explain the things that you wouldn't change.
Mm-hmm.
That was from my understanding. So now I'm in here testifying my truth and not what you put on paper and your answer. These is not my answers on this paperwork. Yeah, I did sign it, but if you would have came to me personally, like I think you should have did, and asked me this yourself, I would have told you no.
Did you?
She wasn't ready. He got her lost for words. Let's continue.
Did you testify that lay low were my words and not yours when I asked you on direct examination about defendant Williams giving YSL members money to lay low after the murder of Dr. Thomas?
If you asked me at that meeting, I told you he could have gave YSL money to lay low because I'm the only one who stayed in Atlanta. I need money to get out of harm's way. I borrowed $300.
I'm talking about in court last week. Do you remember saying, I didn't say lay low, those were your words?
Them is your word. I didn't say lay low. That was already on this paper. I never used the word lay low to you not one time. All this stuff that you trying to say, it was already on the paper. You changed certain things and then we agreed, and then I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even want to say that. I got another paper that's saying you changed number 8. It went from one thing to another thing. You don't want to red flag that.
No, I do.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Because you changed the personal knowledge, and I ain't changed it.
Thank you for that.
I would have never said yes to that. When I got to the last paperwork, I thought we had an understanding of what the emails my lawyer sent you.
So do you now remember getting multiple versions of states 444Y that was changed at your request?
Not all of it.
Okay. Well, let's just show you. And you tell me which ones you remember.
Sure, ain't gonna make me remember none of this stuff. I ain't gonna remember none.
So, do you remember asking the state to change more than one thing on the factual acknowledgement?
A lot of times.
Do you remember the state making changes at your request?
I don't really know, because I seen something different today that it wasn't what I thought it was the day I agreed.
Do you remember last week testifying that you hadn't seen any other document besides the one you signed?
I just seen them today.
Okay.
I didn't see it. My lawyer was just coming asking me, and I guess he thought the question was gonna be changed, and I don't think they was changed.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. Since you won't remember, that's fine. I want you to tell the jury.
I never used the word tell the jury. I just said exactly what you said to me. I say, Miss Love told me that she didn't want me to say that, and she wasn't gonna ask me that question.
Okay, so then your memory is not, you don't remember telling Mr. Steele, you do not remember asking Mr. Steele saying, did Miss Love tell you do not tell the jury?
If he said jury, I forgot. I made a mistake, and I should have corrected Mr. Steele if he said jury. But I'm telling you what you said to me and to me. I ain't saying you said don't tell it to the jury. But that's the way I took it too, because that's who I'm supposed to be talking to, right? Telling the truth to, right?
Right.
Okay, so in my way, not the lawful way, that's the way I took it. Because if somebody tell me, oh, I don't want you to tell my girlfriend this, I'm going to take it as, you know what I'm saying? You don't want me to tell the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, she done subpoenaed his lawyer because she couldn't get what she wanted out of him. So now she's going for the lawyer. Let's continue.
Now, back in November of 2022, did the state seek, do you recall getting an email from me asking whether your client wishes to speak with the state about the case?
I believe November 17th. I could be wrong, but I believe that was when I received that email.
And I got one in November 17th. Did you also give one? I'm going to show you what I had marked and provided to counsel for the defense, but I'm willing to show again as State's Exhibit 450 Yankee. If anyone wants to see it, sure.
By putting the lawyer on the stand, she put her own self in the cross. Let's continue.
And I know we've got the jury back there waiting, Judge, and I'm not trying to belabor anything.
No.
But this is trying to handle this on the fly as we get an email.
I understand.
In the middle of this.
Okay. Sure, thanks. And we're also having 8 copies sent over for the court and the defense and the witnesses.
Now all hell has broken loose because the defense team does not know anything about the emails. She shouldn't have never put that lawyer up on the stand. She put her own self in the cross. So let's get into it because this has now become Brady information, which can make it a mistrial. Let's continue.
And I'm just going to put on the record that in terms of what is and is not Brady, I mean, the Brady v. Maryland case establishes it, and there's all kinds of Georgia case law that sort of reiterates it. And one of the prongs is definitely that the defense did not possess the evidence, nor could the defense obtain it with any reasonable diligence.
I disagree respectfully.
Well, I mean, you can disagree with it, but it's what the case law
That's
holds.
That's because the case law, in an appellate opinion, is saying the defendant, the accused, convicted person, the criminally accused, is now complaining and wants the case reversed because of a Brady violation. And then there's a 4-part test. And one of the parts is, was with due diligence this information accessible? I'm not saying that. Before that, there's a Brady obligation. That falls upon the state, whether it's easily. If 2 experts say different things and the state puts them both on the witness list, but doesn't give the accused to say, hey, one expert says actually it's favorable for your client, and they hold back that report, that's a Brady obligation breach. Now, the fact that I was on notice that there's another person on the witness list, you would expect me to interview the person, and I would have found out about it.
I mean, I think I understand what you're saying, is that if it is exculpatory or impeaching, there is an obligation to provide it. Okay. I guess I am looking at it from the position of, if you are claiming at this point, here's another Brady violation, I have to look at what are these factors, and I don't find those factors to exist here.
Now all hell has broken loose because the defense team does not know anything about the emails. She shouldn't have never put that lawyer up on the stand. She put her own self in the cross. So let's get into it, because this has now become Brady information, which can make it a mistrial. Let's continue.
And that's why I thought I always said I knew about it, so I'm not saying it's a violation, but it is an obligation of the state. We shouldn't be getting it. I should have really had this before I cross-examined Mr. Sledge. Should have had it before trial. And Brady, the way I understand it, is an ongoing obligation that triggers immediately.
Well, okay, again, I don't read it in the same way that y'all. I can't imagine that you would have wanted to use this particular exhibit, because if you used part of it, the rest of it could have come in, at least with regard to what's in each particular number, and the entirety of what's in number 4, I do not think would be beneficial to the defense side of the case.
So, this exhibit, are you referring to the email or the...
Not the exhibit, I'm sorry, bad word if I use that. This email from Mr. Wright of December 27th at 8:43 p.m.
I would like the opportunity to decide what I'm going to use and not. How about that?
I understood.